And yeah, Jamie's saying the link's not letting her join. That's so weird. Really quickly too, I'm gonna put it in my group just in case. So hold that thought, sorry guys. Technical issues. And I guess you probably weren't recording yet, were you?
I just started.
Okay, perfect. I'll just try it again.
Okay, perfect. It's not letting her join? Huh. I wonder.
Weird.
Huh.
That's dead time. Sorry, guys.
I just sent it in our text strand,
Perfect.
although I don't know if she's getting on from a computer.
Okay, well, I'll get started on that. So I was just met with some leaders on my team who are pushing for big things, and Emily and Jamie and I have people on our teams pushing for big things, which is really freaking exciting because there's nothing better than seeing people that you introduce to this business have success. There's literally nothing better because it's just very fulfilling, and also too, we know how hard you work, and so it's very it just feels really good to celebrate your hard work. So that being said, anyone enjoys what I'm sorry to put the right for your screen. Oh, I don't care. You're fine. I got a little orange cream seltzer tonight. And just like you dropped a orange creamsicle in it, and you know, we actually need to have it. But anyway, so we were talking about this, and like with people pushing for like diamond, 1-star, 2-star, whatever you're pushing for, like you have to really take on the role as a leader to reach these goals and to hold these goals and continue to grow past them. And so we're like, okay, so like maybe what does a leader look like or do? And maybe that's a really important thing for us to discuss with our team, is what like a leader is. So I was thinking about this because I have some people who are leading that like, or no, who are pushing for it, who like I don't know if they've even finished the Coach University. I don't know. Because when I asked my team, so I don't know if they have yet. But like, so like number one thing, you cannot be a leader if you haven't done the most basic training if you haven't finished that. So if you're like, I'm pushing for diamond, like you have to have done Coach University if you're really gonna hold this diamond, because you have to know these things. I am pushing, you know, if you're like, and the getting started right call, right? So if you're doing that, don't have that most basic training done, like you've got to start there. You've got to get that done. Because you've got to be onboarding people and saying, get this training done, because this training is a wealth of knowledge. But if you're not starting people off on that right foot, you're not being a very good leader for your team, right? Because you need to look at yourself as, I'm not just following my coach, I'm leading. And actually that's like really, for me, the thing that's built my business the best. Yes, I use my coach's wealth of knowledge and training and information, but I look at my team, what do we need to do? I don't look at my coach, what do we need to do, right? I look, what do we need to do? And I lead them. And I think that that's really important to remember when you are building this team, is how can you lead people? When you first start as a coach, you're being a leader by being on your social media and sharing your health journey. You are leading people who need that. That is a way that you're being a leader. But then you need to show up on your social media and do that, right? You need to show up every day and be consistent, because then you are leading people who need that. But then so you start building this boot camp of people, right? So you're leading in that boot camp by showing them how they have success, by showing them how, you know, asking if they want to do about the business side of things and how that can change their lives. You're being a leader there. But then when you decide, okay, now I want to be a diamond, I want to be a one, you need to be a leader in the business. So that's where you have to think of yourself as, I'm a leader in this business. And if you're like, well, I feel like I can figure out how to be a leader. No, just tell yourself, I am a leader in this business, and I'm going to start acting like a leader at this moment. Not next week when I figure something out, not next year, not tomorrow. Like I am a leader in this business, and I need to act like it, right? So, just rambling. Sorry if you want to jump in, Emily or Jamie or whatever. But that's like one thing I was thinking, is that like you have to, if you're a leader, you have to train people. I have people, first of all, I mean, yes, people can can find things on Coach Equity. People can find things in on YouTube, on Google, or whatever. But I still have people messaging me stuff every day, right? So you're going to have to be answering questions. So that means you got to be showing up on National Wake Up Call. You got to be showing up on these team calls because you've got to have answers. You've got to show people how to change when the tide changes, right? You know what? If I never did another training or whatever, and I was still telling everybody to just friend request 5 people a day on Facebook, my team wouldn't be doing so hot right now, right? I had to tell people, we're moving to Instagram. I'm cheering you on Instagram now, right? But you would then have to show up and learn these things and do these things. And then I learned, okay, this is what's eye-catching on Instagram. Okay, this is what's going to catch people's eyes on Instagram, guys. I share that, right? So you have to choose to take that information and lead people with it. There's all these things I thought of, but I just kind of went on this rambling thing. So do you guys want to add anything at this point?
No, I love that. I mean, I think this, like being a leader, speaking from my experience, it's something that I really struggled with that concept of for years of my business. This is my 5th year as a coach, and I honestly feel like it's just this year. Last year, yeah, but it's not that I haven't been trying, but it's just there are some people that I feel like maybe we all have different lives, right? We all are at different points in our journey. We're all at different points in our coaching journey and our like kids at work, everything. And so I think it's very unfair to compare your journey to anyone else's. Like you just shouldn't do that. I feel like that's one of the things that stops leadership more than anything, because I know that's what it's done for me. Every time I've gone like, why am I not further along, or I don't lead like them, or I don't talk the way they just talk, or whatever, it's stifled my leadership. And I feel like just this year, focusing on who I am and realizing I'm meant to be this way has allowed me to like grow as a leader. And I think it's when you sign up as a coach and you start running your business, I think it's easy to think that when you reach a certain goal, then you're going to be a leader, but it's not. You are a leader now. And I think like what Autumn is saying, like there are these attributes though that you can do that are just going to help you grow in that even more. And I think one of the ones that I see that I know we talk about all the time, but like Success Club, like I see people pushing for big goals, 1-star, 2-star, diamond, whatever, but missing Success Club or hitting SC4 and missing it by a point. And it's like, that has to be a non-negotiable. It has to be a non-negotiable, and a non-negotiable for you all month, all month long, not just the last week of the month, you know, not just all of a sudden like, oh God, I have to hit Success Club. For me, that's the one thing that even though I didn't know like leadership skills and it's taken me a long time to get to where I am now, and I hope I grow a lot more, you know, continually going forward. But I just think Success Club is the one thing that it was like, my coach said, hit Success Club. That's how you're going to grow your business. That's how you're going to be a leader. You have to lead from the front. So if you want to show your people the way, don't rely on them to build your business for you. They're not going to do, that's not how this business works. You have to show them what's possible and then, you know, show them the way. So that really, like, that's one of the things that drives me crazy when I see people tell me they have big goals, but then they're not really making Success Club a non-negotiable. That's just like, that's just bare bones. Like you have to. And I feel like if you're doing that, everything else will come, because you're going to figure so much out and learn so much as you are pushing for Success Club every month, not just in the easy months where you're like, oh my gosh, all these people are coming to me. You're like, wow, this felt really cool. But I mean the hard months, the months where it's like, oh my goodness, am I going to get it? Like you guys, this month was like that for me. It's like, whoo, I'm like hustling and I have all these things going on, and like just finally hit SC10 yesterday or something. I'm like, oh my goodness. And obviously I'm still pushing, but it's just, to me, that's leadership, is being like getting down in the trenches and being willing to put in the work, even when it's hard, even when you're downing yourself, even when life is hard. That is all I really have to say. And one thing I do want to add is this book, The Power of Positive Leadership. If you have not read this book, read this book. I love this book. Like I learned so much, not just as a coach, but just as life and as like a mom. I was like, oh, this was like, I ate this book up. I got it on Audible and the hardback. So
also, to go off of like what Emily and Autumn, can you guys hear me? I don't know if these headphones work since I broke mine. So good. Anyways, so something to go off of like being a leader, if you're focused on where everyone else is and you're sitting there comparing yourself to that person, you're not staying in your lane, and therefore you're not actually leading. If you are the leader of the pack, you're not really worried about what everyone else behind you is doing or wherever I always imagine like there being multiple teams. Obviously that's what we are, but every team has its own leader. So it's once you decide that you are going to make this business yours, that means you've decided that you are a leader. So you're not a follower of the leader above you. So you're not sitting there like trying to figure out where they're at and compare. You're a leader of your tribe, your team, and you're just striving to get to the top. Now, your coach is still your coach, but they're not, and I want you guys to understand what I mean. They're not your leader. They're not at the same level that you can be, and you could be right up there with them. Does that make sense? You're an equal partner now. You're an equal sharer. You're an equal franchise holder of this same company that all of us have parts of. Some people may get a little bit more revenue within their franchise, but you are not the leader of their franchise, and they are not the leader of your franchise. So the moment that you decide to lead your team, you should only be focused on you and your lane and where you are going, because that's what being a leader is. If you're a follower, if you're an employee, if you are looking to a boss or a manager to tell you what to do and how to run your business, then you are not being a leader. That is not acting like a leader. And I don't care what anyone says. Yes, you can learn from me if you're on my team, but you're not going to lead in the exact same way that I'm going to lead. Because this is your own franchise, your own business it's its own separate entity, however you say it. And that's what you are in charge of. So just like, who was it? Michael Phelps or whatever. It was an Olympic swimmer, and they're so close to the finish line, but they lifted their head to look at what the other swimmer, where he was at, and he lost. Okay? Because he took his eyes off of his lane. He went out of his leadership role to compare himself, and then in turn, it pushed him backwards. Okay? So you have to be the leader of your own team. Ashley is my coach, but we have leaders on the team, people to learn from, and I like to call them mentors. They're coaches, they're mentors, they're equal partners. That's what partners do. If you own, I don't know if everyone knows what a Papa Murphy's is, or let's do Black Rock. It's a coffee shop my sisters work at. And my sister Bobby said, they're getting ready to open up a new store. She's going to be the manager of it. And she told me, she's like, I want to own my own franchise of Black Rock. And I'm like, you absolutely can. Why couldn't you? And so she's going to be opening up her own store. Okay, this is kind of about like a storefront talk as well. She's going to be opening up her own franchise, her own Black Rock, but she's not looking at the other Black Rock that she used to work at and expecting that person over there to also run her Black Rock over here that she's in charge of. Okay? If you guys are sitting there expecting everybody else to keep your store afloat and keep you successful, then you are not being a leader. You're being an employee. So if you want this business to work for you, then you have to allow yourself to lead. If you want to be an employee and you don't want to lead a team, then this isn't going to be for you. But it is for every single one of you guys, because you guys are already showing leadership skills by being up on this call. That's another thing. If you guys are not showing up to the meetings, 7 o'clock, okay, I get stuff happens. Today's my 9-year anniversary, and my best friend said, why don't you just cancel your call or put it on a different day or make it a different time. And I'm like, well, John had to go to work today, even though it was our 9-year anniversary. And this is my business and I have goals and I don't want to mess with the momentum that's happening right now. That is being a leader. Things do come up, crazy things. Sometimes you can't make it. Last time I couldn't make it because I had to go to my Nana's house. She's on hospice and it was a big deal. Okay. So, you know, as a leader, you have to decipher which things are going to take ownership. Part of being a leader and owning your own company is you can be a little bit, move things around and do things the way that you want to do it. But you have to decide what those things will be, because everything's going to come up. Obstacles will always come up. We can use anything to be an excuse. My kids are freaked out crying right before this. I had to go help with that. John's helping. John's mom's helping. Like, it's a big old freak show. They watched something super scary at a friend's house apparently, and it's been a really big nightmare for us. So, like, do you guys see what I'm saying? You guys, we are all different franchisees, and you don't have the luxury of, like, I'm not, like, Casey is freaking killing it right now, and she's so close to diamond. She also owns her own hair salon, so she kind of has an idea of how to work her own business as it is already. But if she finally decided, okay, I'm going to make this work, and she had some mental blocks, and then we kind of worked through those, which was a huge epiphany and learning moment for even myself. And then she decided, okay, I'm going to lead my team now. And now there's people coming out of the woodworks for her that are wanting to work the business. But all she did was make a mental shift and realize that she is the leader. Like, she can't just sit there and just do like employee stuff where you just come in, you check your card, and then you do your stuff, you work out, you do your shakes, you do maybe 5 or whatever invites. You decide if you want to like finesse your lunch break, maybe your other little breaks, whatever people get with work. I don't remember these days. And then maybe you're going to like leave work early, and you have the luxury of clocking out on your phone, and, you know, so you could kind of finesse the time clock, like you're still there, but you're not. I don't know. I know people do that kind of shady stuff. You can do that and you still get paid because you're not really a leader. You're just an employee, and you're just you're skating on by. You cannot do this with this business. You have to be checked in at all times. Okay. You have to decide to work your business for you, and you're at the freaking finish line with all of the other successful people reaching all these things. You can absolutely reach those things because they're all people just like us. They're no better than us, but they are not going to do it for us. Okay. I'm really sorry that I kind of go off on a tangent, but analogies for the win. Yes.
I love
I'm
it.
sorry.
So many good things. I thought of something based off your analogy, another one. So I'm kind of now taking over your little niche here. But no, I was thinking about the thing of stay in your lane, because that's so true. And if you are being a leader, you're in your lane with people behind you, right? If you stop to look at the other people, everybody behind you slows down because you're in the front. So not only did you just lose, everybody behind you just slowed down. So remember that if you're a leader too, you are continuously moving forward. So I thought about that. And another thing, when you said, if you are the top, you're not looking up. Nothing makes me crazier than when someone says, I'm the CEO of my own company, and like posts on it on social media. I own my own business. I get to work. I did it. And then my coach ever, or I didn't do this, or you didn't tell me about this, Autumn, or I didn't. And I'm just like, dude, you are the CEO. Like, cool. Like, even CEOs have mentors. They do. Even CEOs will have like big businesses, like meetings and luncheons and stuff, so they work with other CEOs and learn. That's amazing. But they're still the top of their business. CEOs is the top of the business. So like, be your CEO. Don't just talk it. You know what I mean? In anything, don't just talk it, do it.
And
but,
when you when you own your own business and you sign that line of saying, I am now franchising a piece of Beachbody and I'm going to work my butt off, guess what? You're also saying, I am signing this line and I'm going to read the FAQ and be in my coach back office and pay attention to people going active, people going inactive, people about to drop rank. Pay attention to your PV. When you are a diamond coach, you need 100 PV. When you're an emerald coach, you need 90 PV. If you're just a coach, you need 50 PV to stay active. If you have people that you're relying on underneath you, that means you're paying attention to your whole downline, okay? And you have to figure out, okay, if this person did cancel, if this person went inactive, you are already in hustle mode. So you're like, all right, I got somebody that I can put right there. All right, this is going to happen. I'm not going to give up. You have to pay attention to this. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, well, I just dropped and I have no idea. And then you feel discouraged and you're not taking responsibility because you weren't paying attention. Just like what Autumn said. Being being a leader, that means you also are taking responsibility. Something that one of my corporate mentors was talking about, Brittany Adamson, she said, if your team fails, that's a reflection of your leadership. If somebody fails on your team, it's a reflection of your leadership. Now, I want to get this straight, okay? There are some people they're on your team that just decide that this isn't for them. Or maybe they're not ready or whatever they decide. We're not in this business to force them to do something. But if you have willing participants and you aren't giving them the trainings and they do the trainings and you're not connecting with them and they decide they can't do it, then you need to check out what's going on with your leadership skills, okay? Another thing is, if you are sitting there holding their hand, then that's also not being a leader. That's being a babysitter. And we're not babysitters either. So you give them the information. We have the training. I tell all my coaches, go through this training, then we'll set up a one-on-one call. And then when they want to do it, they let me know when they're done with the training, and then we set up something, right? So it's just like, I'm totally available, but I'm going to work with the willing, work with the workers and not just with the willing. Because if you work with people that are like, yeah, I do want to do this, but I don't know because I'm just so busy and I have kids and I have to work and I really like to take really long showers and whatever the reason may be, then I'm like, then I'm not going to sit there and spend time working on your business with you, because when I could be working on my business, getting people that are wanting to work. Okay, I know who's working. It doesn't have to be numbers on the board or paychecks coming out on Thursdays. We know who's working and who's going to make it in this business, whether you think that you're doing good or not. Okay, and guess what? If you're on my team, I'll call it out. So I don't know if the other coaches will, but I'll be like, are you working? Are you listening to personal development? Are you being a CEO of your own business? Because your work needs to match your goals. Your work, if you want to have the fancy title, then you need to have the fancy work to put behind it. Okay? Like, the fight is coming up soon. So, could you imagine if, Sean McGregor or whatever, he was, going into the ring and he's, one of the best fighters or whatever, but he didn't put any of the work in, no training, no fancy footwork, no fancy 1-2s, no nothing, and he's out of breath, and he didn't do any of the work, but he still expected to go out of that fight with the fancy title. It wouldn't work. You have to put in the work, the behind the scenes work, all the training, the blood, sweat, and tears that none of us see. They don't highlight that when he's working. They don't, but they train their faces off. Literally, they are so disciplined just so that they can have those 12-minute round or whatever it may be. But you have to back your stuff up, okay? Sorry, I don't want to take up the whole call. I'm very famous for that.
No, it's good. I love it. Emily, I didn't want to I keep coming talking right after her. So if you have something you want to say,
No, you go. You're good.
I was just going to say too, Jamie, I do love that you are, I mean, I don't love, I mean, if you were gone for your anniversary, I would totally get it. But the point I'm making is, like you said, you decided, no, this is my business and I have goals and I'm going to be on this call. Okay. Like who doesn't like have right now something that they could be doing tonight, you know? And when you get asked to do something or you think, okay, I don't have to do this right now. Don't do it. Get on your call, build your team, work your business. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying all the time, not every day, 7 days a week, but team calls are always the same time every week, and they always build business. And if you're not coming to team calls, you know what? Your downline's probably not going to be coming to team calls. And okay, so let's say you think, but I know I'm going to watch the recording. Not everyone else in your downline is going to watch the recording. Plus, you're not building a community. If you're not showing up on this, then you're not building a community with your team. We do this together. That's huge. That's huge for your business. If you are, as a leader, building a community, we work together. And people need that in this business. Because how many times do you sit there at home like feeling like you're working all by yourself, right? We need each other. We really do. And so don't then not come to calls and then expect your team to be getting bigger and growing. Don't not hit Success Club and then complain, I can't get coaches that are working the business. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be the leader running the hardest, and so people can run with you. Until finally, yes, you know what? I was just on a call with some of my leaders, like I said early on, that are pushing for Diamond 1-star, and I was like, okay, you say you're pushing, this is what pushing is. Are you still pushing? Because if so, let's go, right? And I told them, my dream is that you run so fast you pass me and you take off. But until then, I'm going to keep running as fast as I can to keep you guys running with me. Because if I slow down, those people who aren't ready to pass me, they all slow down too, right? You cannot not do things and then expect your team to do them. And then you cannot pick and choose the things you want to do and then expect to have great success in this business. You know what I mean? You have to choose to lead, run, so the people who are ready to run, who at that point aren't ready to pass you yet, will run as fast as you. Pretty soon you will. Like, I mean, there's some coaches that give me a run for my money, and I freaking love it. I had a coach a couple weeks ago. She was close to losing her diamond. She hustled her face off Wednesday at like 3 o'clock. She's like, whew, I got someone. Next week, she signed 8 coaches in 1 week. You know why? Because she hustled her face off, didn't hope for one, didn't talk to 2 people. She talked to so many people. She got 1 and then 8 more the next week. And that's because that's consistency. That is not slowing down. That is running. That is being a leader.
And that's, go ahead, Emily.
No, you go.
No, you go. Don't.
No, I just, like, you guys are so good, and I get a thought, and then I lose it because I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember this, but then I listen to the rest, and it goes out the window. But what I was going to say is that just as a leader, to add on to that, as a leader, you're always on the offense. You're never on the defense. You're always, like, thinking ahead. You're always thinking about the following month. You're not thinking of, like, okay, it's already, you know, the end, you know, like, okay, so say October started and it's the second week of October. You're like, I don't know when my challenge group is going to start. No, you already have that planned out, like, before September even ends, at least. Like, if you can plan out a couple months ahead, go for it. But, like, you know what is coming. You are on it as far as, like, reading all the emails from corporate. Like I think Jamie said, reading the FAQ. So you know when things are coming. I just read an FAQ today. I was like, shoot, how did I miss that? October 1st, coaches can buy challenge packs. I'm like, what? That's rad. But, like, don't wait for your leader to tell you that, you know? I mean, shoot, I missed it until today, but I finally read my email. But yeah, like, you're thinking ahead. And also, like, you're thinking ahead as to, like, okay, so it is October almost, and then November and the beginning of December. So October, November, like the first half of December, I know from past experience, those tend to be slower months. Now, does that mean that there are no people that want to be helped? Absolutely not, because there are people that slay their business October, November, December. Like, there's been coaches I've seen that have been at 1-star and literally built 4 diamonds, like, in that last, like, at the last bell. So all I am saying is, don't look ahead and be like, oh, it's just going to be hard, I'm going to take my foot off the gas. No, look ahead and be like, how can I be proactive about this? So maybe I'm sending out twice as many invites. Maybe I do something creative. I do a fun free group. a leader is creative as to like, how can I have more fun in my business? How can I get creative? How can I mix things up? And then let my team do that with me so we can duplicate it and have fun together. And I just think, like you're not waiting for your leader to put together some awesome, fun group. You're looking ahead and you're proactive and you're always on the offense of like, how can I breathe more life into this instead of like, oh shoot, these things are happening. How do I fix this? I mean, yeah, that's going to happen too, but you're always thinking ahead. So you're kind of always prepared for that. You're prepared for struggle and you're like, cool, I expected this. I've got this,
Yeah. And I want to say, I think literally words are so powerful, and it is ingrained in us that the holidays are the slowest time for us. But if we choose to believe that, instead we are trendsetters, you guys. Like, that is what this is. Like, the trend to be healthy and fit and like work at home and be mom bosses and let the husbands come home from work. Like, we're trendsetters. We're making things happen. So why can't we set a new trend? That October, November, December does not have to be our slowest months. In fact, it's going to be our best months. And we're going to show people that we live such balanced lifestyles that this is absolutely doable, right? But no one's going to believe that if you're always taking your foot off the gas and you are saying, oh, holidays are much harder for me, I can't do it. Well, then you're leading by example. The say is we're all moms. A lot of us are. Some of us aren't. But what is the word or the saying? Do as I say, not as I do. But how does that not ever happen? They do exactly what you do and then some. And that's going to be the same for your followers. So you have to set a trend. You have to say, I'm going to be disciplined, because when you're being disciplined and you're filling your cup, remember the base thing, and you're doing it so much and you're staying so consistent, eventually it's going to pour over and it's going to spill onto everyone else. And that belief that you had started as a little seed, and it's going to help all of them flourish, because you're going to be planting little seeds in every single one of them, that we do have control over food. Food does not have control over us. And holidays have fun food, but guess what? We can eat out of those fun foods and still have amazing results, okay? So you have to be a trendsetter on your social media. Okay, so that people know. I'm doing that Ultimate Reset starting October 13th. And people think that I am crazy about it. I know Casey's doing it October 1st-ish, this Saturday. I don't know when she's doing it. She's doing it a week before I am, which makes me excited. The 28th, 9th, 29th. Can't count. She's doing it the 29th. And people are like, you're crazy for doing that before the holidays. Maybe I should do it in January. You guys want to know something? My business is seriously finally picking up, because I've decided, no, I'm going to do this. And I've been talking about it. And what Emily said, I'm on offense, not defense. And I've been saying, I'm going to start this with me. And I know that it's going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I would love to have as many friends as I possibly can to do it with me. And for me, I choosing to do the Ultimate Reset because I need to learn how to have that discipline again. And the sugar and everything has taken control of my brain, literally. So you guys, that could be something you talk about. They don't have to allow food to have control over them. Okay, it's a choice, and you could show them otherwise. Doesn't have to be the Ultimate Reset. It could be a different program. But if you're being willy-nilly, then they're going to be willy-nilly about it all. Okay, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. Speed of the leader, speed of the challenge groups. Speed of the leader, speed of the challengers, and like whatever you do is literally spilling on into them. Okay. Speaking of squad sweat will be a big biz change. Yes. So they're doing a squad sweat group. And if you guys didn't watch the FYB, whatever, Follow Your Bliss family call, it's in there. She hasn't posted it yet. I've been on the lookout for it, but it is there. And then, oh my gosh, you guys can join it. And if you're not in it, it's ridiculous, because that tells me that you actually aren't choosing to be disciplined or choosing to work your business. Because hello, part of our business is taking care of ourselves. And if we're not doing that, then you're not really doing your business. But I mean that with some leeway. Like, obviously we all have moments of struggle and falling off and all that kind of stuff, but pick yourself back up, pull up your panties, and get on with your life and do your job. And everyone's job, beach body or not, is to take care of the one body that you were blessed with, mind, body, spirit, whatever it may be. So it's not just you that has to do this, okay? Everybody should be doing it. So this group, when they open it, it's going to be in October, and it's kind of going to be like a test group, and you guys can even have your coaches join it too. It's going to be all the downline coaches to join, and I better see every single face and name in there, because it's going to be worth it. Because there might be a day where you feel like you just can't do it, and then there might be somebody posting it's the same way and they did it, and it's going to help motivate you, and it's like a freaking domino effect. Choosing to.
Oh, you said they're not, if you're not in it, you're choosing not to do this, that. And I said, or choosing to be a leader, right?
Yeah.
To be a leader.
It could be such a special treat for your coaches, your newer coaches. So if you're not in it and you're not showing up, then you're kind of cheating them out of a great community. You guys, one of the biggest blessings, I don't want to cry. I started my period today, so that I'm emotional. But my biggest blessing, I have a family, okay, and I have certain family members that I'm extremely close with, but like the kind of family where you're just loved and accepted, and no matter what, and it's drama free, and you could count on them no matter what. That's not something that I grew up with, and that's what this is. Like Autumn and Emily, Casey, I mean, I met Candace this weekend, totally love her. Kelsey, I feel like that has been one of the biggest blessings, and the people is what kept me in it, because everything else I would have quit. So if you don't want people to quit, then you need to really open up the entire gift box and give it to them and allow them to enjoy it with you, not for you, not without you. Like, how fun is it to get a box of assorted chocolates and you and your friend are picking and trying each one? Do you know what I mean? Like, that is what this gift is. And some things you're going to not like, and some people are going to like better. And that's where our inner strength and weaknesses come together, and we're able to be stronger together, because we are all wanting each other to be successful, because in the end we all just have franchises of the same company that we all want to go to the top. We're not competitors to each other. We're not competing companies with each other, okay? So offer them the entire gift box and do this with them and show them what this community can be for them.
I love that. I have a quick question. I just want to know how many of you guys have heard that running a coach sneak peek is really good for your business? How many of you have ever heard that?
Raise of hands.
Yeah, raise your hand. I don't see very many people with their hand up. So not very many people are running coach sneak peeks weeks. Okay, I see Casey. And you said Casey's really close, right? Okay.
She's
People couldn't hear me. Again, the volume on this. How many of you have heard that running a coach sneak peek is good for you, like a behind the scenes backstage passing, like a pass? Okay, there we go. There's more hands up. Sorry guys, I forget. I used the thing earlier today and I should have done it again. Okay, so then I was gonna say, how many of you just did one in September? Okay, now I see one hand. Okay, and I did one too. How many of you already have it on the calendar for October? Okay, fantastic. So that, you guys, like, that's one example, and I use that one a lot, but I tend to, at this point, get coaches out of that every single month. And there's sometimes, I use the same group over and over. I don't start a new one. I just go in the day before I start, get the other stuff out, the old videos, and I start again. And it's changed my business. And there were the first couple times I advertised it, I would get nobody. I still acted like I ran it. And then next time I get one, I get two, whatever. Share the story a lot lately. But like that's just one thing that even I have leaders that are still not running it. And I'm like, okay, but everybody is telling you that works. And it gets a chance for people who want to hear about the business to hear about it, because you don't want to be salesy on your social media. But if you go there and do it, like people want to hear it. And people who are considering are going to be like, okay, so you got to run it. And you got to run it once a month. And that's going to be a game changer. And that's going to be, once you're a leader and you're doing that, you can get people who are scared in to maybe run one or two with you on your team and then make them go run their own, right? But just an example. Oh, it can build your business. If you're like, yeah, I've heard that. Am I doing one? No. Like, why then? If you've heard it can build your business, you should be doing it if you're a leader.
And you guys think of strategy. How many of you guys sit there? Okay, somebody in the group that we're doing said this. I really only do my invites and stuff towards the end of the month when it's close to a challenge group. Girlfriend, you're literally freaking break checking yourself every single month. Like, no, you can't do that. So guess what? When you're doing your group, a couple weeks before your challenge group, you're talking about that. And then a couple weeks later, you're doing a coach sneak peek. So it's going to help either end your month or start your month. And you're going to have one on each sides of the month to help you, because you're going to get brand new coaches and you're going to get challengers. Okay, and give them choices. I have people, I'm talking about Coach Sneak Peek right now, my workout program group right now, and the Ultimate Reset group right now, because I'm going to put the workout group and the Ultimate Reset in the exact same group. Why am I doing that? So the people that were too nervous about doing the Ultimate Reset are going to see those of them that are doing it and the results that they're getting, and then they're going to get some serious FOMO. And then for the people that are just buying Ultimate Reset that don't yet have Beachbody On Demand, they're going to be like, whoa, what workout is this and what are they doing? And guess what? They're going to get serious FOMO. So that's how I work on that. And people like choices. People don't like being pigeonholed into one thing. And then later, when you've got your group set up, you're setting up a challenge group. And that's how you keep your ball rolling. You should always be inviting. Maybe it's not to the exact same group, but you should always be inviting. If there's not an invite within your 24-hour looped story, you're doing it wrong. If there is not a before and after within the first two lines of your IG, you're doing it wrong. If there's not an invite in at least one of the lines, because guess what? It doesn't have to be like, I have this starting, blah, blah, blah. It could be a transformation. It could be drop an emoji or something below if you'd like details on my group. You guys, we are so good at subliminal messaging and planting seeds, right? So the first two lines should be the only things that you focus on your Instagram. And that way, because that's what people are going to see when they open it, and they want to see, okay, what is this? And you're not going to advertise for Beachbody, because Beachbody doesn't need you guys to advertise it, right? We're not going to use the names. You're just going to be like, I have this cool thing for you, and I was wondering if maybe you'd want to join me, okay? And then you do from there. So you pretend like you don't even have a whole Instagram story or whole Instagram photo. You only got 24 hours, and people are not going to be on the same days as everyone else. Some people aren't going to be on a Monday, and some people are going to see your story on a Tuesday, and guess what? It's going to be 45 minutes after your invite post just ended, and so that person didn't see it. Do you see what I mean? Consistency is key. They can't look at our archived stuff. And guess what? If you have people watching your stories all the time, even through those are your people, okay? Those are the people you need to be talking to. The end.
I love it. I also want to add to that with that, like on Insta stories and in your social media and in your post and just in your entire business, I think a leader is willing to get uncomfortable all the time and doesn't just talk about something they need to do, they do it. They just implement. They take something in and they do it imperfectly. They don't wait for things to be perfect in the right time. They just implement right away. And they're willing to get uncomfortable all the time. That's why as a very brand new coach, you're a leader. If you are willing to put up that coming out post, and then put up your before and afters and start sharing your journey and start posting. I have this brand new coach, and she's like doing it all, like posting her before and after, did her coming out, went like sharing on IG stories, and she was so scared, and afterwards she messaged me, she's like, oh my gosh, it's actually not that scary. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. And it's so true though. We get these stories in our minds and we make a mountain out of a molehill. Like seriously, but a leader, you are willing to get uncomfortable all the time. This Rockstar mentorship group that we're doing together with 3 other ladies, you guys, like going live the other day, it totally pushed me, because I think it's just a different setting. It's something new. It's like I've never done a collaborative group with 5 other leaders. I've done different groups for my team, but it's a totally different. I'm like, shoot, I feel really responsible. Like I want to make sure I give good content, because it's not just like, it's everyone. I want to make sure that everyone really takes something away, and I take that very seriously. I was like so nervous that I just kept telling myself, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. But that's what a leader does. You are willing to get uncomfortable, and you know it's part of it, and you know the best stuff is going to come on the other side of that. So whether you are a brand new baby coach, you're a leader if you're willing to get uncomfortable. You get uncomfortable every day in some way, whether that's sharing a vulnerable like post, or whether that's on social media, like on your IG stories, just showing people more of your personality that you're like so scared to show because you think they're going to think you're weird. Just do it. That's a leader. I think we overcomplicate it, and we think we have to, like, I don't think a leader is someone that knows it all. I think that's a misconception that I used to have. I think like, oh, a leader knows everything, has all the answers, is like the best teacher. And that's why I think I had this big roadblock, because I used to teach tennis for years, and I honestly didn't like it. I played tennis my entire life competitively, loved playing, didn't like teaching. So I thought, like, if I don't like teaching something, then I can't be a leader. I don't think that's what a leader is. I think it's someone that's willing to blaze the trail, show up consistently, like stay positive, even in the hard moments, even when negative stuff gets thrown at you, you push through, you stay positive, and you get uncomfortable every day. Do that. You're a leader. Bravo. Like.
I love that. And you guys, I've been sharing this more and more, but believe it or not, I'm deathly afraid of public speaking too. I thought of that, Emily, when you said that. Like, deathly, like you're like, yeah, right, Autumn, you talk to us all the time. But it feels a little bit different because I'm used to some of you guys. It makes me nervous. I'm talking on my stories. It feels like I'm talking to nobody, so it's okay. But whenever I get asked to speak on a call or something, I like want to puke my guts out. And actually, the first couple times my coach asked me to speak on something, I said no, because I was too scared. And then it hit me like, I can't do that. I can't do that. What am I doing here again if I want to be a leader? And so I've started to say yes, and I was asked to speak on a team call today. I'll be really honest with you guys. I was a hot mess. I spoke way too fast. I was sweating profusely. I forgot a bunch of stuff I wanted to say. And it was over. I was like, oh. But then I was like, no way. It means it's going to be better next time, Autumn. I took extra notes. If I ever get to share the story again, move on, right? Because I can't get better if I didn't do this one today, right? I could not get better with the next one or the next thing I do. And actually, that's something I'm working on very hard. I've identified it was my limiting belief. I didn't want to be successful because I saw people speaking on stages and stuff, and thought, oh, we could do that. And it hit me that, okay, then I need to start speaking in public more. We've got these team calls with bigger people now. I'm hopping on to other people's trainings. It never feels really good, you guys, but it's getting easier. And it wouldn't if I didn't keep doing it every day. And the same thing with whatever it is in your business. Like the leader, like Jamie said, you're doer and teachable. Like, I know that I need to learn how to be better at this, and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to sit back and watch and say no because I'm too scared.
And something real quick, if you guys haven't read the 5-second rule, you need to, because in that book, I specifically remember what you do. So for me, what she was talking about anxiety specifically, you could change anxiety for any word: scared, nervous, whatever. And instead of saying, I'm really nervous, or I have anxiety about this, I have anxiety about this, and then you're sitting there saying over and over, you have anxiety about this, and guess what? It's just going to get worse and worse. And you can replace it and be like, I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I'm excited. And the power, the words that you're saying have power over you. So if you just can replace it, even if you don't believe it yet, but you say it consistently enough, then you're going to believe it. And guess what? It's not your anxiety, something my mother-in-law has been teaching me. My anxiety makes it really hard for me. My depression makes it really hard for me to run this business. Guess what? My anxiety has no power over me unless I allow it. The depression that I go through has no power over me unless I allow it. And something else I was going to say off of what Autumn said, and I had a brain fart. I did a training in the group too, and I've been so space cadet-y today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't understand if I did anything right today, but you know, it's happening. I'm still doing it. You have to do it like, okay, sorry, you guys, with my analogies. You guys have your driver's license, okay? By now, you have your flipping driver's license. You're no longer on your driver's permit, okay? So, like, how did you get your driver's license? You had to practice. You had to do it multiple times. You had to maybe run a stoplight. Maybe you ran over a curb. Maybe you hit something. Maybe you backed into something. Maybe you've done all of those things, or maybe you're a perfect driver. Good for you. But what I'm saying is, the only way that you know you're good at anything, or that you're so bad at something that you need to get better, is by actually doing it. Imagine that. So get in the driver's seat, be a leader, fix your mirrors so that you can kind of check occasionally, but you're not paying attention because you're a leader. You're not going to keep looking behind you, and you're going to do the damn thing. And you're not going to sit there and let any roadblocks, any construction, like, could you imagine if there's construction on the freeway and you're trying to get to your job and you're like, actually, I think I'm going to sit here and camp. I'm going to camp right here on the freeway because you know what? It's slow. There's construction. We've got some obstacles in our way, and I am just not going to get through them. So why is it that we can, in our car, literally get through obstacles and roadblocks and all of these things, but not realize that's actually real life? Like, you can't just camp there in your struggle, in the what you think you can do. If you get a flat tire, what do? You call somebody to come change your tire. If you need gas and you're feeling lethargic and tired and you're on your period, what do? You go to the flipping gas station and you put more gas in it. It's the exact same thing with you. So stop camping and be a leader. I mean, camping is fun on occasion, but like, this is the time to work, okay? We are hiking, we are trucking, we are motorcycling it along. Whatever you decide to use as your transportation, you just need to go forward. And yeah, that's what I don't know why. I just needed to tell you that. Congratulations, you all have your license.
I love that. Out of that, I just get like embracing the growth, you know? And I think like that's the coolest thing for me out of this business. Like you guys were saying, it's the relationships and it's who I've become as a person. Like, yes, I have grown massively as a coach in my business, and that's so exciting. And like getting to see my coaches become leaders and hit goals is so exciting. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so like, what really matters to you in life? You know, like when it comes down to bare bones, right? Like if you were on your deathbed, like what really matters to you? I want to know that I showed up 100% me. I gave it my all, that I left people knowing that I love them, that like a good feeling in their heart, that I like, you know, left an imprint that was positive on the world. And like this business, and then also I didn't stifle the gifts that I was given. And before coaching, I realized I've stifled so many gifts, like all of them, because I was living in self-doubt and I didn't think I could do this because I was so scared of putting myself out there, public speaking or whatever. And I think like that's the coolest thing about this business is that when you embrace being a leader, when you embrace all of these things and you just start doing, you become a doer and you just move, it's not just going to move your business. It's going to move your life. It's going to move your marriage. It's going to move your parenting skills. I am such a much better mother today than I was 5 years ago. Holy moly. I was just telling my mom yesterday, I was like, I sometimes wish I could like have a do-over, like have my kids now. Like they'd get such a much better mother now from like 0 on. But thank God I found this business and that I did grow, you know, that I did embrace all the challenge that came with it because it made me grow in every other aspect of my life. So it's worth it. It's always worth it.
I love that. I was thinking, I want at the end, I hope that everybody takes all this stuff, like we gave you like lots of things, and at the end of the day, decide when you leave here, I am a leader. And this is what, when you're debating what to do, what would a leader do? I'm leading a team. I'm leading a boot camp. I'm leading my followers. And decide and act as a leader, and your business will grow. I mean, it just will if you're leading. But if you're depending on someone else, you're not going to be, it's not going to be surprising that your business is struggling. Okay. Or if you are telling people what to do, but you're not showing up as a leader, your business is going to struggle. But if you choose to be a leader and lead, and that's hard sometimes, you guys, but rewarding, just like everything, like anything that's worth it is hard, then you're going to be really successful.
You guys are the best.
I know, I have all the warm fuzzies.
It's true. If you allow it, this business it's not just about helping other people. It's literally changing you first. What kind of business wants you to put yourself on a pedestal and make sure you are your best self? That is freaking Can you even understand that that is like real life right now? That is this opportunity right here, right now. And you guys, we're literally barely in 3 continents right now. Like, we're not going to run out of people. I have people from Australia dying to do challenge groups with me. I have people from New Zealand. I have people from all over the place, literally. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't offer this to you. And they're always the ones that are like, I'm on it. Tell me what to do. How do I do it? How do I sign up? And I'm like, the heck? It's because people want what they can't have. So guess what? You got to still work your faces off, your asses off. Maybe that's what I was trying to say. I don't know. You still have to work so hard, even when we open up to those things, because people want what they can't have. Once that becomes available, guess what? A new challenge arises. Okay. So you've never arrived. No Beachbody coach has ever arrived, and you have to be teachable, but you have to also be self-discipline to get your ish done and be the leader that you want to be. Okay, there's no comparing to anyone else. If you're comparing just the accolades or whatever, and the money and the rank and all that, but you're not taking the time to compare the work that's been put behind those numbers, then that's not okay. You guys are worthy of all of the success, if not more. Okay. All right. Oh, look it. I just got somebody that said I'll do the coach option. And this person has been someone I've been talking to for 6 months. So don't give up. Okay. Can we all take a picture with what everyone always messages me and said, if I would have known, I would have smiled. So here you go. Smile. Oh, wait. I didn't push the button. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Another episode of Jamie Never Has Her Ish together.
You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for spending this last hour.
Yes. Love you guys all. Get to leadering your teams. I don't know. I'm going to go to bed. Okay.
Good night.
Good night.